The story of this ancient tale begins with some construction workers who are continuously digging. The shocking thing is that during the excavation, they discover tombs that could be several hundred years old. All the construction workers inform their managers and everyone else about these tombs, which significantly increases the site's popularity. Consequently, a very influential manager, who is also a businessman, comes to see the tomb. As he carefully examines the site, he is astonished to find that these things are indeed real. To silence the workers, the manager gives them a lot of money and takes ownership of the entire site. What the manager noticed in the tomb and what new information it holds will be revealed later. For now, the manager begins to narrate a story about a warrior named Amin who lived many years ago. Amin was the daughter of a great Egyptian king, Pharaoh. She possessed excellent fighting techniques and had defeated almost all of her army, becoming a renowned warrior. Pharaoh, the king of Egypt, had only one daughter, Amin. Therefore, it was clear that after King Pharaoh's death, all the power would pass to Amin. Amin was very happy about this and lived her life without any worries. However, sometime later, a son is born to King Pharaoh's second wife. The king announces that after his death, all his property and civilization will be inherited by his son. When Princess Amin learns about this, she becomes extremely angry because she had expected her father to leave all his wealth to her. But now, with the birth of the son, all the property will go to the child. Amin is very upset that her inheritance is slipping away from her, and she cannot forgive her father because she had dreamed of this. Therefore, Amin directly goes to the demons, who are the death demons possessing immense dark powers. Amin promises these demons that she will bring them into the world, but she needs their dark powers to seize her empire. The demons agree to this plan. The demons then give Amin a weapon with which she can bring them into the world. Filled with a desire for revenge, Amin uses the dagger to kill her father and his son. After this, Amin needs to choose a man to bring the dead demons into the world. She selects one of her soldiers and seduces him. To complete the ritual, Amin must kill this man with the weapon. However, as she is about to do this, a large number of soldiers suddenly arrive. They have discovered that Amin has killed the pharaoh and his son, and Amin is caught red-handed. Since this was a major crime, Amin is imprisoned alive in a coffin and placed far away so that no one can open it. She remains imprisoned in the coffin to ensure she faces punishment. The scene then shifts to a much later time in Iraq, where two soldiers named Nick and Chris are present. They are fighting against terrorists who are illegally entering their territory. Although the number of terrorists is large, Nick and Chris fight them effectively and manage to eliminate all of them, reaching their battalion. It is known that whenever Nick and Chris are involved in a mission, they complete it successfully because their teamwork is highly effective, and they defeat their enemies decisively. However, they notice that where the terrorists caused an explosion, there is a deep tunnel and many coffins. Nick and Chris begin asking their senior officers about this and request permission to investigate. Initially, their senior refuses, but later agrees. An archaeologist named Jennifer, who is a childhood friend of Nick's, is also included in the investigation. Jennifer even slaps Nick for wanting to go on the mission alone. Once permission is granted, the group starts to enter the cave created by the explosion. Inside, they find many ancient and old items. Nick notices that the area is filled with a lot of mercury, which is accumulating in one spot from dripping above. Additionally, there are several statues in the area, which are holding someone captive with ropes. Nick doesn't understand what these things are, and Jennifer had previously warned them not to touch anything. Despite this, Nick breaks the rope that the statues are holding, causing the statues to release their grip. A large coffin, filled with mercury, emerges from the liquid. This coffin, it turns out, belongs to the dangerous Lady Aminette. At this point, they are unaware of the significance of the coffin and think it's an ancient artifact worth taking. However, as soon as the coffin is exposed, strange spiders emerge and attack. One of the spiders bites Chris, causing his condition to deteriorate rapidly. He is taken up for rescue, and the coffin is also brought up by the military personnel. When Nick exits the cave, he notices a large number of crows around him, which is quite strange, but he doesn't pay much attention to it for now. The team loads the coffin and all the ancient artifacts onto a plane and leaves. Everyone is excited about their find in their large research laboratory, but Chris's condition worsens significantly due to the spider bite. His eyes turn completely white, and it seems like he is being controlled. Chris continuously heads toward the coffin, trying to open it. Nick tries to stop him, but Chris ignores him. When their senior attempts to intervene, Chris loses control and stabs him with a knife. Nick also tries to stop him, but then a massive flock of crows attacks the plane. Both pilots are killed, causing the plane to start descending rapidly. Amidst all this chaos, Nick first puts a parachute on Jennifer and throws her out of the plane. Jennifer manages to survive. However, everyone else on the plane is killed in the crash. This incident is extremely tragic, and all the bodies are placed in a chamber. Shortly after, it is discovered that Nick has come back to life and is now awake. He is shocked to find himself alive in such a way. Then, his friend Chris appears before him, in a very bad condition. Chris tells Nick that Amnet has returned and has chosen him to fulfill her purpose. This is why Nick, even after dying, is now alive. Nick is bewildered, not understanding what Chris is talking about and what will happen next, but it is clear that he will face many challenges ahead. Jennifer is then shown, meeting with Nick and discussing many things. She is astonished because she can't believe how Nick survived such a dangerous plane crash. Even Nick himself doesn't know how he survived. Jennifer clarifies that, due to her work with the archaeologist group, she has received important information. She explains that she was talking about the same Princess Amnet, whose tomb they had uncovered. They also believe that Amnet had taken a dagger from the demons. This dagger had a red diamond on it, which could bring demons into the world and give them immense power. However, after the king's death, the red diamond was stolen by a knight. Recently, the knight's tomb was found in London, and the red diamond might be there. During the conversation, Jennifer reveals everything about Princess Amnet, how she killed her brother and father to take the throne and was then imprisoned in a coffin. Now, Amnet has emerged from her coffin, but her body is still weak. She absorbs the energy of nearby humans to regain her strength and become powerful again, aiming to kill everyone. Meanwhile, Nick repeatedly has visions of his friend Chris, who tells him that they are immortal and that Aminet's choice of him could be very dangerous. So, you should follow exactly what I say. Jennifer receives a call from her boss, who instructs her to bring Nick to her headquarters. Jennifer pleads with Nick to come with her, but Nick insists on checking out Aminet's tomb one last time. He heads to the church where Aminet's coffin was kept, unaware that Amnet has come back to life and is now absorbing the energy of everyone she encounters, killing them in the process. As Nick arrives, Amnet attacks him with the same dagger she had. Just as she is about to strike, she notices that the dagger is missing the red diamond and stops mid-strike. Jennifer arrives and screams loudly, which Amnet hears, prompting her to chase Jennifer. Nick manages to evade Amnet and her soldiers, escaping with Jennifer in a van. Although they manage to get a fair distance away, Amnet takes control of Nick, making him turn the van in her direction. The van eventually crashes, leaving Nick and Jennifer trapped. Amnet approaches Jennifer to kill her, but at that moment, an entire team of archaeologists arrives with advanced weapons. They capture Amnet and restrain her, and also take Nick and Jennifer to their headquarters. It is revealed that these archaeologists work for Henry, the manager mentioned earlier in the story. Henry explains to Nick that he is also a monster but doesn't want to fully transform into one. To prevent this, he has to take a special injection. Henry's goal is for Amnet to summon the demon she wants to bring into the world so that it can help cure him. This is why Henry is risking all his money and business to find the dagger with the red diamond. Henry has captured Amnet and chained her up securely. Amnet is determined to escape from her confinement. She manages to control a small spider and transfer it into a human body, allowing her to manipulate that employee and thus escape from her prison. Amnet quickly heads to find the red diamond, which Henry had discovered through his investigation and which Amnet now knows about. She moves towards the tomb where the knight's dead body is located. Meanwhile, Henry, who was on the brink of transforming into a demon due to not taking his injection, is tortured by Nick for information about the location of the red diamond. Despite his resistance, Henry eventually reveals the location before fully converting into a monster. Nick administers the injection, and Henry returns to normal. Nick and Jennifer immediately head out to retrieve the diamond, but Amnet has also been freed and is standing right in front of them. Amnet wants to complete her ritual to bring the demon into the world and transfer its powers into her body. To find Nick, she unleashes a massive sandstorm across the city, destroying buildings and killing people. Nick and Jennifer manage to find refuge in an underground tunnel, but Amnet doesn't give up. She resurrects some dead bodies to capture and bring them to her. The worst part is that Amnet reaches the location of the red diamond and places it on the dagger, completing her preparations. Now she is ready to perform the ritual and absorb all the demon's powers into her body. Amnet arrives at the place where the ritual will be conducted, the same dark, sacrificial site where she intends to sacrifice Nick and resurrect the demon. Using her dark powers, Amnet revives the dead and orders them to capture Nick and Jennifer and bring them to her. Amnet attacked Jennifer, severely injuring and incapacitating her. She also beat Nick brutally, throwing him around. Despite this, Nick kept approaching Aminet's body, as if he was enjoying the beating. However, this was part of Nick's plan. After some time, when Nick fell away, Amnet noticed that the dagger was missing from her hand. Nick had cleverly taken it, and now he moved forward to break the red diamond. Just as Nick was about to act, Amnet begged him not to, explaining that using the diamond would make him the most powerful and immortal being on Earth, making his death impossible. However, under Aminet's control, Nick was about to hand over the dagger when he suddenly drove it into his own stomach. The ritual was instantly reversed, causing the demon spirit to enter Nick's body, granting him all the powers instead of Amnet. Nick began to lose control but managed to overcome the demon's influence by focusing on his memories with Jennifer. With this concentration, he was able to defeat the demon and regain control of his own body. Using his newly acquired powers, Nick severely injured Amnet and threw her away. He completely controlled the dark powers and used them to kill Amnet. Nick then healed his best friend Jennifer and took her to a safe place. In the Egyptian desert, Nick used his powers to resurrect his old friend Chris, who would accompany him on his journey. With his dark powers growing, Nick set out to use them for good purposes. Thus, the adventurous story comes to an end.